Hello, everyone, and welcome to a quick tutorial, or hopefully it will be quick, about implementing the multi-seated vehicle system in the GASP mover system that Epic Games has recently released in 5.7. So I have my two projects open over here, and you can also migrate from inside the project, but I prefer to do it this way. You can just go into the content of the multi-seated vehicle project, and then you can copy and paste the folder inside the content folder of the GASP project. I already created it. And then you can go ahead and open it up. And we're basically just going to have everything we need. Now, there was a problem with the first update that I submitted yesterday. I think Epic approved it today. If you guys received it, please don't download that one, or if you do, that's fine, but don't use it because there was a math problem with the offset of the seats. I already fixed it, and it might take a day or two again for it to be accepted by Epic Games. But if you're watching this tutorial before that fix comes out, I'm just going to quickly show you the code. It's very simple. And the reason that it doesn't work with the current code or before the update is because the new mover plugin uses physics to translate the character versus the capsule component, which is much more mathematical. So, for example, I use the node called attach actor to actor to keep the character tied to the vehicle, and the mover plugin, that node doesn't work because it's a physics simulation. So you basically need to force update the location of the pawn in order for it to work. So the first thing I want you to do is go into Window and go into World Settings, and just make sure that your default pawn class is the sandbox character mover type, just to make sure that that works. And then let's go into our multi-seated vehicles, blueprints, and drag the test vehicle into the scene. And then let's open up our example character just so we can copy and paste some of the code we need. And let's also open up the mover character, sandbox character mover. And this is where we're going to be pasting stuff in. So first thing, we need to copy the MSV character component. So let's just copy and paste it right here. And then there's going to be this little boolean here, which is using GASP mover. Make sure you enable it. If you're using GASP mover, obviously, if you're not, then you don't need to toggle this. Then we need to go over here and we need to copy the change seats and the enter exit vehicle. So select all of this, Control C, and then over here, Control V. Now, you can use enhanced input if you want, so you can just swap out these inputs, but the code of the plugin will remain the same. So you can go ahead, compile, and save. Now, just to quickly show you the code changes, so you can do that yourself if you don't want to wait for the correct update. That will most likely come 2 days from when this video goes out. You can just go ahead and create that variable that I showed you is using GASP mover. Make sure it's false by default and it's setable and it was on spawn, so you can toggle it on and off there. And then create a new integer, call it desired seed transform with a default value actually of -1. Go. Make sure that that is -1. And then it's very simple. You go and find event tick. So now we kind of need to force update the location. So it's using GASP mover, do a branch. If it is, you can get the last vehicle used, right click, convert to validated get, which gets you this node. Then you do, if the desired seed transform is bigger or equal to 0, then if it is true, you're going to get the owner of this component, which is the character, set actor transform, and then you need to offset the seed transform, which is this function right here. Drag it in. And make sure this is teleported. Also make sure that the desired seed transform is replicated for multiplayer purposes. Then off of the value here, make sure you get the component by class MSV vehicle, not the character, the vehicle, because we're grabbing from the vehicle. Get the seat location tags, then get the desired seat transform, and then just, again, drag from the last vehicle used, get component by tag, connect the get to the tag, it will automatically create this node. Make sure the component class is a scene component right here, so search scene component, this one right here. Then get, it's only going to find one, so you can just get 0, and then get will transform, connect to here, and that will basically be it. Now, we do need to set the desired seed transform, so just to quickly show you, search, there you go. So you need to go into the function where you do client try interact with vehicle, that's the one right here. If you zoom out and then set it over here after the false and before the server play enter vehicle, and you connect the output from the find right over here. Then the other one is going to be right above. When you leave the vehicle, you want to reset this back to -1. And then the third and last time, when you do server change seat, it's going to be change seats logic right here. Before you do anything else, you just set this to the change to seat. And that's basically all the code that I did. It's very simple. Now let me actually comment this to GASP mover code. And with all of this set up, you can now go ahead and press play. By the way, if you are watching this after the correct update has gone through, you don't need to add any of this because it's already going to be there. I'm just showing you all the steps in case you want to do this right away once the video comes out. There you go. Now if you press play with this character, you press F, and now you're going to see that our character is going to start to fall. This is because of the animation, but now you can go in, change your seats, and it will update correctly. And then you can press F to leave. There you go. Now, one problem that we need to solve now is the moving of the vehicle, right? Because right now the driver doesn't do anything. So the way that the sandbox character mover works is it doesn't actually, you can see right over here, this is from Epic Games code, the find where mover takes inputs, open produce input function. And you can see right here. And basically the way that they do this is that they get the move input. The move input is this right here. And they're basically doing some math with the control rotation. The thing that we want is actually the get EA underscore move. This is the actual WASD of the movement, raw value. And if you double click this open, it will bring you over here, which is axis to D. So the way that this works is X is forward and backwards, Y is right and left. So let's just go ahead and copy this. So Control C. Now we need to go back into the event graph because we don't have a straight up input here. We need to use event tick. So let's go over here. Oh, we already have an event tick. Okay, so after all of these nodes, just go ahead and paste this. And now let's go back, right? Go back into our example character. And this is where the code of the vehicle is to move the vehicle. So select all of these top nodes. You don't need the add movement input. So Control C, and then go over here, Control V. All that's took to get a sequence because we need to do one for the throttle and then another one for the steering. Connect the branch. And basically the flow logic is very simple. If we are inside the vehicle and we are also the driver, 0 is the driver index, then we want to go ahead and do the client throttle. Again, that will be the X value. So you can just do this. And now let's Control C, Control V, all of this. Connect it again. And this time, this will be for the steering. So you can delete this, do client steering, and connect the Y into the axis. There you go. So that is also simple. And with this setup, we can now go ahead and press play. If we go inside the vehicle, you can see that if I'm in the any other seat that's not the driver, you can use WASD. It's not going to do anything. If you press 1 to go into the driver's seat, I can now go ahead and drive my vehicle. Now, you will see that there's going to be... Oh, this is actually... it's inverted, sorry. So the way that they set this up, it's inverted. So, my apologies. You need to actually... You can use Control, click, and drag X, drag it Y, and over here Y to X. So when I said that X was forward and Y was right, it's actually flipped around. So that's my bad. Sorry, I explained it wrong. There you go. And now there you go. It should drive correctly like any other type of input. And we can drive our car. We can stop it. And there you go. Okay. The end brake, however, is not working. So we need to set that up as well. So let's copy this. Control C. Now for the end brake, we are using jump. So if we find Well, you know what? I'm just gonna do the same thing that I did here. Let's just do keyboard, keyboard. Then let's do space, paste. And then when we press it, we want to enable the break. Control-C, Control-V. And if we release it, it means we want to stop braking. And that should give us the correct behavior. So I'm going to drive forward. Now if I press send brake, there you go. Stop. Perfect. Now we need to set up the animation part. So if we go inside our example character, go into the viewport and click here, we can have, or go inside our example NMBP. So let's browse and open it up. And this is basically what I'm doing. I'm using IK for the wheels, and I'm doing a blended pose for the sitting position. So we basically gonna have to grab this. So let's grab all of this, except this one and this one. We'll see. Now let's go into, we can dock this up. Let's go into our sandbox character mover, go inside our skeletal mesh, sandbox character mover, APP, double click it open. And there's going to be a lot of stuff here. You can ignore most of it. Create some space over here in between. Paste this. More space. Connect this over here into the result. And then the false you connect into over here. Okay, let's compile. Oh, it's not going to let us do this because of... Oh, it's because we don't have the... Sorry, my bad. We don't have the these variables created. We actually need to go ahead, right-click on them, create variable. Right-click, create variable. And then over here, last text, create variable. And is in vehicle, right-click, create variable, compile. And there you go, that will work. It will give you this warning, but you can ignore it. This is because it's using thread-safe functions over here. Now, you can't really do thread-safe by grabbing references from blueprints. That's why it's giving you this warning, but you can ignore it for the most part, since this is not going to be used for anything other than people inside vehicles, which is not going to be very impactful on performance, because the only thing that we're doing is two fabrics and assigning a seating position. Sitting position, right. So that animation, we don't have it here because it's not retargeted, but it's very simple. You can go over into the example NMBP, double click this guy. It will open up in a new screen. This is just the base pose. Browse to it, right click, retarget animations. Oh, my, frozen. Retarget animations. Then choose your target skeletal mesh, which is going to be the one from, I think it's many. Is it many? I'm not sure. Okay, if you want to check, you can go into sandbox character mover, skeletal mesh. Oh, it's the SKM UFN mannequin, so you can just browse, then go back over here and assign. There we go. And you can see that was unable to be normalized. I think that's going to be okay. You can see that it's going to say it's success. So you can select your anim example sitting pose and export animation. And then you can just put it, I'm going to leave it in the root content for now, and export. And there you go. This is your sitting position. And that is it. So you can see it did a good job. If you compare, it's pretty much the same. Go. Now you can browse. And then going to the sandbox mover, you can actually just search for sitting right over here, drag and drop it. And there you go. Now we need to set all of these variables that we created. So we need to go back into the event graph. There's going to be already a bunch of stuff here, but you can go back into the example NMBP event graph, and we need to do this. So we need to grab the MSV character and assign all of this. So I'm just going to Control C all of these nodes, go back over here and paste. Just to be sure, you can Alt S and click to get a sequence. and just put this on the sequence. So connect this guy, and now we need to basically set the MSV character, which is done over here in the initialize animation. So you can go over here and just copy this. Or you can actually do the event blueprint begin play. So compile, go, no errors. It will give you those warnings. It should be down here. Yeah, fabric doesn't really like that, but it should work all the same. I think I'm forgetting something, but let's just see what happens if we press play. Go. Press F. And there you go. Now we have our seated position. Works perfectly. Let's go into the seat. Okay, yeah, the IK will be freaking out a little bit. I think that's what we're missing. What am I forgetting about the IK? What am I forgetting about the IK? I did this system a long time ago, guys, so I'm sorry. I don't remember. Maybe it's in the vehicle. So open up your test vehicle. Let me see. That's something up here. That should be fine. Because these tags are basically the component tags over here, so that should work fine. Same as before. Maybe the problem is in the fabric nodes themselves. But I think the names of the bones are exactly the same. So, and R, clavicle R. Yeah, all of these bones exist. So I'm not 100% sure what's going on here. Okay, I'm gonna pause the video real quick. I'm gonna do some research real quick and see what's the problem. Okay, guys, so I have a little bit of bad news for now because I think the IK nodes with this new GASP system are not working. They are freaking out. If I'm using world space on them over here, they don't go to where the effector is like they would like they do in other animation blueprint. I'm not sure why. I'm gonna have to do further investigation. So for now, I'm just started coding. You can drag from over here and make a transform, and then I'm just inputting these two values for each. Make sure that it is component space, and it works quite well. The only thing is the ends don't rotate with the wheel. For now, I'm gonna have to leave it like that. You can see right here. So it doesn't rotate with the wheel, but it works. Yeah, I'm going to investigate on my own time. Maybe go onto the forums, ask someone, that might understand this more than I do. Also, I changed a little bit of this work. So I changed the instead of doing the left-hand targets right away, I did left-hand transform and right-hand transform as transform variables. And I'm doing right-click, convert to validated get, and I'm doing only this if this is valid, because I noticed if you use this directly, it will give you errors. So I changed this here. And again, I changed it here. So if I input these guys here, it's not going to work. Why is this? What is this? Get out of my screen, please. I think I clicked something that I shouldn't. Oh, get out. There you go. If I connect these up and show you what happens, this happens. There you go. So if I connect this into world space into the wheels like I had before, the arms would rotate very weirdly. And the strange thing is, it even does things like when I move my camera around, the IK changes if it's in world space. It's very, very weird. So for now, I'm just going to leave these disconnected, or I recommend that you leave these disconnected till I find a solution. And I will post in Discord the solution. once I have it. And yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it here. That's, I think, everything that we need to do. So the animation, unfortunately, like it doesn't work, but now the character stays fixed to the car. It will no longer flow through, and everything works correctly. One thing that I should also mention is, again, the update that you're probably currently going to find is, if you're watching this video right after I upload it, will be broken. The code will not work. The character will be offset from the vehicle. So please follow the steps I showed in the beginning to set the code correctly over here in the MSV character, or wait for the correct update, which should come out in a couple of days. If you're watching this a couple of days after I recorded the video, you don't have to worry about setting up the code. It should all be ready to go. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it here. Please, any questions, let me know in the comments or in the Discord server, and I'll try to help out the best way I can. So thank you so much, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.